if you want to start a snail farming business come this 2026, then this video is for you. This is a beginner friendly video for anyone who want to start snail farming business and be successful in it. Even if you have started before, perhaps it didn't work out well, this video will guide you on what you need to do, what you don't need to do, so that you'll be very, very successful in the business, right? So there are 3 questions I want you to ask yourself, and then give yourself the honest answer you can give yourself. Now, the very first question I want you to ask yourself is this. Ask yourself if you can be very patient to wait for over 1 year before you can start making money from snail farming business. So I want to start this business, and I ask myself, can I actually wait for 1 good year before I can start making money from the business? Just ask yourself that question and give yourself the honest answer. Then the second question I want you to ask yourself is this. Do I have passion in this business I want to start? Do I have passion for snail farming business? Ask yourself that question, and then also give yourself the honest answer you can ever give. And then the last question I want you to ask yourself before we kick started is to ask yourself, will I have the time to manage this farm, to run this farm for 1 good year? That is the third question I want you to ask yourself. Now that you have asked yourself these 3 questions, look at them very, very well. Give yourself the honest answer. Don't answer the question to impress yourself or to impress anybody, but just give yourself the honest answer. And I want to know, please drop your answer for me in the comment section of this video. I want to know, and I want to see your honest answer, right? Now that you have answered yourself these 3 questions, it's time to get started, right? So the very first thing you will need to do is to get the knowledge. Very, very important. Don't go and start because people said it is very, very simple. Don't go and start it because people said it is easy to start. Please, you will not succeed and you will give up in the business. I'm telling you the honest truth. I have done this business for over 4 years. So I'm telling you the honest truth and nothing but the truth. Don't listen to what they are saying. Most of them telling you all these things have not practically done it even for a day. So go for the knowledge. Get someone to train you in the business. So in the process of the training, you will get to know how to construct your pen, the dimension you are supposed to use, that is the right dimension you are supposed to use, the depth of the farm, how deep it's supposed to be. These are the things a lot of persons don't know. They will just go and construct anyhow something, and at the end of the day, they will start having issue here and there. So you need to know the dimension, understand the depth of your farm. That is for those that will want to go for pen house, right? Still in the training and getting the knowledge, you will need to know the right species you need to start your farm with. You need to know their feeding, their nutritional value, the different food that you ought to give them that will help them for their very fast growth. These are the things you learn during the training. When we talk about training, people just think that we'll just go there and talk what. There are a lot of things we need to know. And I can tell you for sure, there is no way you attend my training that you will not learn something new throughout my training. And that reminds me, we are going to be starting our first training for the year very, very soon. So if you want to be part of the training, please go to the comment section and drop I want to be part of it. And then I'm going to add it to group where I will give information on when the training will start. But mind you, it's not for free. The training is not a free training. So that you will not say I did not say it. It's not a free training. It's actually going to be a paid training, right? So once you have been trained and you have gotten all the right knowledge, how to incubate your eggs once your snails start laying, that is very much important aspect. You need to know how to incubate them properly. You need to know how to hatch them to have a successful hatchery, right? And now when your snails start hatching, you need to know how to take care of those baby snails. We call them hatchlings. So these are the things you will learn practically during training session. Now, once you have been trained, you have gotten the training, someone have trained you, the next thing you need to do is to build your farm. After you must have constructed your farm, then you stock your farm. And now in the construction of the farm, you will now decide which type of farm will I use? Which is the best, or which one will be suitable for me? Now, there are things you need to consider when you want to make choice of the kind of snail housing you will use. The first thing you need to consider is the availability of capital. All of them are not the same amount of money. What I mean is that you don't spend the same amount of money in getting these houses, right? So for someone who doesn't have big amount of money, you will go for a snail housing that will not eat up your capital. So this is where you now decide, okay, I am having 1 million to start this business. I'm having 2 million to start this business. I'm having 500,000 to start this business. Which housing system will I choose that will not take all of my capital? You will now consider, should I go for pen? Should I go for, that is the intensive, or should I go for greenhouse, which is the extensive, or should I start using tire, or should I start using box first? So these are the things you consider, and even in the course of the training, we'll tell you all these things so that you will know. And another thing you will now consider is availability of your space. This is also the next thing that determines the kind of snail housing you will construct. For instance, if you don't have space in your place, then there is no need talking about maybe you want to go for greenhouse or even intensive that is very, very large, right? So you consider all these factors. And another factor you consider is the quantity of snails you want to start with. For someone who want to start with, just say, let's say 500 pieces of snails, definitely you are not going to be using the same house with someone who is actually starting with 1,000 pieces of snails, right? So you need to put all these things into consideration before you make your final decision on the kind of snail housing you want to go with. Of course, there are still other things you need to consider in terms of housing. All of them has disadvantages, all of them have their advantages, and we'll break these things down during the course of training, because if I start talking about them, this video will be very, very long. So that is why I'm just giving you the most important ones, but in training we'll break them down. Each one, you know the advantages and disadvantages, and then it will guide you and help you to make the right choice. Now, when you are done considering the kind of housing you want to construct, you go ahead and construct it. Then the next important part is to decide which species of snails will I start with. This is another important area. Now, majorly in Nigeria, we have the AA, which is the Achatina. Then you have the AM, which is the Achatina marginata. And we also have the AMO under Achatina marginata. AMO is Achatina marginata ovum, still under Achatina marginata. Then we have another one we also call AMOS, which is Achatina marginata citrinus, right? So you now decide which one should I start with, which one should I not start with, and you look at them. This species, how many eggs can it be able to lay for me? You look at this other species, how many eggs can it be able to lay for me? These are the things that will guide you to know the particular species you are supposed to start with. You now ask yourself, what is the survival rate of this particular species? What is the survival rate of this particular species? Because there are some species that adapt even in any condition. They find it very hard to die. As a mortality, find it very difficult to hit them. But there are some species that are easily prone to mortality. So these things are what will break down. You understand each species with its own characteristics, and it will help you, it will guide you to make the necessary decision. For instance, for we that are within the south and southeast part of Nigeria, what is popularly in that area is the AMOS and AMO. While within the western part of Nigeria, you will mostly see the AA within that area, right? So the location also determines, right? So of course you want to start something that is more popular, that is more needed within your location. If AM is what is needed within your location, starting AA might not be a good idea. So these are the things we teach people in training. We break everything down so that you understand. But just as I said, I won't go more so that this video will not be long. I'm just giving you the most important. So you consider all these things, the species, the number of eggs each one lay. There are some that don't lay much. For instance, AMOS, most of them don't lay much. 10, 8, 11, 12 per clutch. While there are some like AA, they lay a lot of eggs. And there are some, their eggs are very, very small. Why some their eggs are bigger than the others. So these things are what you weigh. You look at them front, back, up, down, before you now conclude, okay, I'm actually going to go with this particular species. Not that this particular species is not good or this one is not good. No, you just analyze it. Okay, this one is much needed in my area, so I think I should go with this one. Okay, this one lays more egg than this, I think I should go with this one. So once you have been able to break all these things down and understand them, it helps you to make the right decision. Now once you have decided, okay, I want to start rearing AM, that is Achatina marginata, then the next thing you need to do is to look for a trusted supplier. I say it again, a trusted and honest supplier. Please, some persons might tend to scam you. Why some persons are not honest? They will not scam you, but they are not honest. They will not give you the exact what you ordered. I've seen a lot of persons, they ordered for point of lay, but they were not giving point of lay. I've consulted a lot of farm. The person told them that they are sending point of lay, but at the end of the day, they didn't send point of lay. So that is why I say it must be someone who is very honest. Because if you don't get point of lay, it will take you longer time before they will start laying. And that is why we encourage new farmers, new snail farmers, beginners, to always start with point of lay. The one that will not take them much time before the snails will start laying eggs, right? So once you have been able to get your snails, stock them in your farm. Of course, before then, you must have constructed your farm, introduce your loamy soil, then you now stock your snails in the farm. Then the next important thing is the management aspect. This is where everything happens. How you manage your farm, how you take care of the snails, how you feed them, how you water them, is all around the entire management of the farm. And when one is not being gotten right, it will affect the farm. When one is missing, it will affect the snail. And that is why most times we see mortality here and there. You will see a lot of snails dying. It is as a result of poor management of the farm. Now you need to know, how do I clean my snail farm, which is also part of the management aspect. Now if you have time, it is also recommended at least 2 times a week, 3 times a week, depending on how big your farm is. When I started newly, I was cleaning my farm every single day, and that is because I have the time. Not only because I have the time, most times I don't even have the time, I come back very late, but because I was committed to it, I make sure I clean it. There are sometimes maybe I went to work and then came back late and I was so tired, I will still make sure, even if it's around 8, I will still make sure I go and check them and do minor cleaning. This is what commitment is all about. Please don't go and start and in 3 days you have not go and check your farm. 2 days you have not go there and check your farm. This is very poor management and it will affect your farm. So that is why I said, how much time do you have? Ask yourself that question. Do I have the time to take care of this snails? Even if you are not cleaning every day, but at least in a week you clean up to 3 times. Just as I said, I was cleaning every day, and in 1 week I will do thorough cleaning. But other days I'll just do minor cleaning. Remove the rotten food, most of those things, replace them, remove the feces, throw them away, and then put new food, water them, and all those stuff. But then once a week, sometimes I do it on Friday or Saturday, I do what we call major cleaning, where we even remove the snails, do a thorough cleaning on the farm to be on the safe side. So you must make sure that you make out your time and be committed to it. If not, you might not actually be successful in it. So you need to be committed, you need to be patient, and you must take it as a real business, right? And then once you start going, 1st week, 2nd week, 3rd week, 4th week, even before the 4th week, which is 1 month time, you should have started seeing eggs. Except the person who supply you did not actually supply you point of lay. But if the person have actually supplied you point of lay, you should have started seeing eggs in your farm, meaning that the snails have started laying eggs. Now once they start laying eggs, this is another important aspect. This is where it becomes more interesting, because if they don't lay, it's a problem. But if they start laying, it means that you are about to populate your farm and increase the number of snails you have. So once they start laying, you now prepare a separate pen and incubator where you'll be incubating the eggs. And when you are preparing this incubator, please make sure of the soil you are putting there. It should be loamy soil. It shouldn't be too dry. It shouldn't be too watery. Let it just be damp, right? Humus in nature. Then this is the right soil where you are supposed to incubate your eggs. Then from 21 days to 1 month, more than 1 month, the eggs will start hatching. Unless if you did not incubate properly. But if you have incubated properly, you will start seeing them hatching from 21 days and above. But don't worry yourself, even if you stay 1 month. Some, I've experienced some that stayed more than 1 month, and yet they still hatched, right? Now, once they start hatching, it's a good thing. What I do basically is that I move those hatchlings to another pen where I call nursery pen. If you want to leave them there, you can also leave them there, but make sure there is no opening where they can escape from. Remember, they are very, very tiny, right? So, but if you can move them to a nursery pen where you can now monitor them closely and then take good care of them, that would be very, very good, right? And once they have grown to maybe point of lay size or bigger size, then the next thing you should be talking about is how to set them to make profit from the business. And most persons find it difficult to sell their snail, but I told people that this thing is very, very easy. There are a lot of persons you can sell to. You can sell to final consumers, you can sell to your neighbors, you can sell to them. The truth is that snail is something a lot of persons need. A lot of persons need it. You can even sell to those persons that sell in the market. So you sell to them, they will not take to the market and sell, right? And also, if your farm is big to an extent, you can look out to supplying to hotel, fast food. These are different places you can sell. And you can also consider processing them and selling to final consumers. So this is where you start making money from the business. So in a nutshell, this is basically the steps that you need to follow if you want to start a snail farming business in 2026 and be profitable. If you have learned something new in this video, please go to the comment section and drop it, and I will be there to respond to you. Thank you, and see you in my next update. Bye for now.